In this session, we will discuss about last solid principle, that is the dependency inversion principle with the hands-on coding with Golang. So this principle actually focusing on creating loosely coupled and flexible code by inverting the conventional way of software module dependencies. It says that high-level modules should not depend on a low-level modules, but both low-level and high-level should depend on abstractions. And abstraction should not depend on details. Okay, we'll see that in with hands-on coding in next in this session itself. So in Golang, dependency inversion principle is primarily achieved through the interfaces, okay, and the dependency injection. What are the key points of dependency inversion principle? Abstraction over implementation. Okay, so high-level module should rely on abstractions rather than concrete implementation. This allows for the decoupling and interchangeability of components. Dependency injection. So objects should not create their dependencies, but should receive them from the external sources. This facilitates the ability to swap implementations without modifying the core logic. This also we'll see through the implementation. And stability and flexibility. Dependency inversion principle in making systems more stable as changes in low-level implementations do not affect high-level models. It also provides flexibility by allowing easy replacement of components. So in Golang, how we can implement this? In Go, you can implement dependency inversion principle by creating interfaces that define the behavior expected from various components. So high-level modules depend on those interfaces rather than concrete implementations, and promoting decoupling and flexibility. Okay, interfaces for abstraction. Define interfaces that represent the behavior expected from the various components. Dependency injection. Use dependency injection in inject implementations of interfaces into the dependent structures or functions. So this is the theoretical part. Basically, we are decoupling from high level and low level components things. Okay. For this thing, what we'll do is I will create DIP dependency inversion principle one and main.go. So what problem we will try to solve this and we'll try to understand. Let us write one scenario where we can write a interface that we'll try to implement for the file writer, network writer, this kind of things. And high level component could be like a processor, which actually composition of a writer. We'll try to write the things and we'll try to see how we can decouple the things from the high level component and the interfaces of low level things. Okay, that is the main agenda for this particular example. Okay, package main. Okay, so as we told, right, as we discussed, we will write a interface for writer. Okay, okay, that actually this white writer defines the contract for writing a data. Okay, this is interface writer interface write data of bytes, just written if any error is happens. Okay, this is the just interface. Okay, oops, oops, oops. Okay, so in this oh man, yeah, so this interface what we'll do, we will try to implement a file writer basically. Okay, this file writer implements the writer interface for writing data to a file. Okay, this is type file writer of type struct. Okay, we are trying to implement this file name which will be string. Okay, perfect. So now what we will do is we'll try to implement func file writer of file writer. We just need to implement the right interface, right? So this will take data of byte and it will return error. So here what we will do is we'll try to create a file. Basically what we'll do, you can use the OS namespace with file name, right? Try to create the file. Once we are done, let us check if error is not equal to nil, return error. That means some problem happened. Okay, otherwise what we can do is defer file dot close. Okay, now what we'll do, equal to file dot write data. Okay, if some problem happened, this should be nil, basically return error. Okay, perfect. So this much we need to write for the file writer. Okay, and then one we'll see one more thing called network writer. uh, Network writer implements the writer interface for sending data over the network. Okay, so now what we will do is we will try to create a type uh, network writer of type struct, which for this we need an endpoint, right? For the writing anything in the file, we need a file name. Here we need a endpoint to post, basically to do whatever the operations we want to do. Okay, string. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we'll try to implement that function func network writer network writer. Okay, right, it will take data or bytes. Okay, okay, so now what we will try to, we need to write a network related stuff here. We need to find some network endpoint and all, but for now we'll just try to print it. This in this example, println sending data this particular endpoint. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. Data to endpoint string of data comma network dot endpoint, and this will return nil only here. We are just printing only, right? Okay. So what one more thing we'll do is um, we'll try to implement the high level component. Okay, processor is a high level module that uses a writer process the data. Okay, so now here is the type processor. It will be of type struct. Here what we will do, the difference is you will have a container here like a composition. Okay, okay, perfect. Okay, now what we will do is, see, this writer is completely decoupled now from the low level because of that interface. Processor, now you can write one process and write again. Here data will be bytes only, and this also will return a error. Okay, you simply return p dot. That's it. Okay, so this actually whatever the kind of processor will create, this will be taken care. Okay, okay, so now we are able to high level components and low level components of different writers, that is file writer and network writer. We have implemented that. Now let me write a main function main. So first what we will do is we will try to use the file writer with processor. Okay, let me create uh, basically file writer which is equal to file writer of file name. We'll try to give the data.txt. Okay, simple one file name, and we will use the processor now, which is actually processor of writer. Here actually we will pass the file writer thing. Okay, now what we will do is we will try to processor dot process on write, and we will try to pass the byte of this data to be written to a file. Okay, okay, this data to be written to a file. Let us see this much it will work or not. Just observe here, there are no file actually. We are trying to, when we call this one, right, this will be called this one, this writer actually, this is the file writer. This writer basically creates a file, and once creates, and then it will try to write the data into that. Actually this much we are trying to test now. Go run, okay, sorry, cd dip, go run main.go. Okay, you see, observe here, there is a data file came, and this file this data to be written to a file. Same thing whatever we wrote here, that is what actually is it is written in this data text file. This is how actually we will separate like a processing and the high level and low level components decoupling through the interfaces. Okay, now let us implement, let us write the network interface. Okay, network interface actually uh, oops, network writer, right, and this will take endpoint. We will take some endpoint like anything like http localhost some 8080. Okay, just one endpoint we will write this. Now here processor dot writer equal to, I will just initialize it network writer now. Same thing you can write same thing here as well, but this data returned to a file, this to a network, but this will be printing only, we are not writing any network thing as per now. Okay, go run main.go. If you see this, the data is written in this network on this particular path. So this is how actually like you can implement the DIP, I mean dependency inversion principle. Okay, now we'll try to refactor this code by separating it. I will delete this file anyway, no more required. Okay, so now we'll try to move this file to writer wri dot go package main. Okay, and I will try to simplify this file writer file wri dot go package. Okay, and what is the other one we have? Network writer. Okay, package main. Okay, and also we'll separate the processor dot go. Okay, okay, fine. Then I think now all good. We'll try to save this file. Yes, all went. This is fine. We'll try to build this one with the build command now and see what happens. Cd dip, right? Go build. If you see there is exe file is created there, then I will try to run this particular file. You can see that, and you can see that data dot file also created here. So I will delete these two files now. Okay, let us see like what we learned from this one. So the statements like whatever the dependency inversion principle says, so we need to implement the high level components should be separated, and it should be depend only on interfaces. That's what we did. And interfaces also like a